The weather, the state of the crops and livestock tend to be top of mind for farmers here in Alberta, but what often isn't is the mental health of those who grow and take care of our food supply. Hometown Media Stettler recently had the chance to sit down over Zoom with Che Burnett, a registered social worker with the Calgary Counseling Centre, to discuss the topic of farmers' mental health.
I look at the factors where people start to deteriorate a bit, and it's often isolation. They feel like they're a burden, just not really wanting to go out, not sleeping well, not feeling that good, maybe drinking more.
You don't have those confidants that you should have either. You have the conversations, maybe at the auction market, wherever, at the coffee shop, but they're different. You're talking about your business.
I think resources are a little harder for people in rural Alberta. And as well, I don't think it's generally a culture that's dealt with mental health. There's still stigma around it. It's a tough culture. People are just used to doing things and getting things done.
We're the tough guys. We don't want to talk about feelings, especially. We only seem to talk about what you're going to do tomorrow, what you're going to do next week.
1 in 4 Alberta farmers feels like life isn't worth living. Rural males are twice as likely to die by suicide than urban males. 57% of farmers experience anxiety, 45% face high stress, and 35% experience depression. Despite the need, 40% of farmers feel uneasy about asking for help due to stigma and a lack of resources.
We have a higher suicide rate, like a particularly high suicide rate in farmers, which I think is terrible. And so people learning how to talk more about it, having more language around it, and also knowing that there are resources out there that are connected to the farming community that do want to talk about and do want to help support and add tools to people's toolboxes.
There's long days where you're tired. If you're checking cattle or you're checking sheep, you're out there late at night and then get back at it again early in the morning. And that rest time isn't there, and it takes a toll on people over and over again. And
Counseling Alberta is another great resource. It's providing subsidized counseling for people in rural Alberta, and the government has been a really strong sponsor of that. And I think stepping into this kind of place, just like knowing it's uncomfortable, but it also can be really useful. But one of the interesting things is right now, due to phones and that, you can call while you're on a tractor. There's possibilities now to make that bridge.
If you don't have a healthy mind, you won't have a healthy body, and if you don't have a healthy body, you won't have a healthy mind. They are tied together, and that is so much the truth with farmers.
Growing up, the most comfortable way I had to talk was going out and doing chores with my dad. That was that's how I grew up. That's where you talked. That's where you did things. And so to sit down in an office with somebody, it can be pretty uncomfortable.
You have the conversation with the kids when you're out doing chores. Those are the times that you talk about the business. You don't actually talk about feelings, and we need to get out more and talk about our feelings. I know nobody likes talking about it, but it is something that has to happen.
I think the world's going to continue to be challenging. There's going to be crop losses, all kinds of weather, animal diseases, tariffs, obviously, all kinds of things that are going to add challenges. But remember that one's health and how you want to be healthy for the rest of your life is more important than that.
If you would like more information on the services they provide, give the Calgary Counseling Centre a call, 1-833-827-4229. For Hometown Productions and Media, I'm Landon Chambers.